Welcome to Healing the Spirit, a space where we awaken our creativity, deepen our connections, and remember who we are through the lens of astrology, archetypes, and art making. I'm your host, Jonathan Coe. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is a reading for the week of July 20th. And thank you for being here, first of all. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being curious about your self as a spirit. Thank you for wanting to be on this path of continual expansion, growth, and coming back to who you truly, truly are. To me, this is such a practice, returning to who you actually are instead of what you've been taught you are, instead of your even past conceptions of who you think yourself to be. This is so, so radical, right? And you are doing this work, so congratulations. I hope you really see yourself in that. I hope you affirm that you are on such a beautiful path that many of your ancestors have been wanting you to do. They themselves crave it. And yet, perhaps a part of them, because of their lived experience or because of the restrictions that were present in their lives, maybe they weren't able to do that. They didn't feel like they were allowed to do that. But you found this podcast, you found this space, you found this work that you're currently engaging in, that I'm currently facilitating, because you chose to be willing. You made the choice to be willing, and that's incredible. So I'm here to support you in this process. And for those of you who are new, basically the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to pull a few cards. This is from the deck called Woodland Wardens. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. It's by Jessica Rue. I think it's how you pronounce her name. And it has these like forest animals in it. And usually I pull the cards before I start the reading. But I feel like pulling the cards in real time for this specific reading. And I want to say before we start that this is how this reading works. I've set the intention for this particular space to really speak to anyone who found this episode, regardless of when you found it. For my own purpose, and for the purpose of those of you listening in real time, I have turned my attention, I've turned my inner gaze, my clairvoyance, into the week of July 20th, but time is not linear. Time is always happening, everything, everywhere, all at once. So if you found this podcast, maybe because you saw the title and it spoke to you, or it feels right for you to listen to it in this moment, I would really encourage you to trust that, because it has something for you, right? The messages that I'll be sharing here is not necessarily bound to time and space, and we know that energy is infinite. So there's always all possibilities available to everyone at all times. So yeah, let's get to it. Let me pull a few cards here, and then I'll share with you what I receive. The first card is the sheep and blackberry. And the keyword here is devotion. The second card is the opossum and peony. And The keyword is bashfulness. And then the third card is the snail and huckleberry. And the phrase here is trust in the invisible. Okay, this is very interesting. Let me sit with these for a second. So the theme that is arising for us this coming week, this moment when you are listening to this, is learning to trust the unseen support that's available to you. And the unseen support isn't just coming from your spirit guides. Sometimes the unseen support is literally the support of people around you that you have a hard time seeing. Perhaps you have an elder figure who is praying for your well being. Perhaps you have a beloved friend, a beloved acquaintance who, without fully knowing it, is really thinking of you and where you're at in this moment, and they're sending you supportive energy. Perhaps it's even coming from a different dimension. If you believe in alternate universes, I'm kind of going a little far out here, but this is where I'm being guided at the moment. If you feel that there is an alternate universe and there's a part of you in this alternate universe sending you support, that's real. And that's also part of learning to trust the invisible. Because there's so much support for you here that may feel difficult to access in this moment. You're being asked to trust, you're being asked to be devoted. This sheep and blackberry card is the teacher card. And the teacher here is devotion. What does devotion mean? In the case of where you are right now, devotion means putting in the work that you know is necessary and the work that you know is good for your process, the work that you know is constructive to bringing you closer to the reality that you want to see exist in this moment, and to not worry too much about getting evidence right now. The truth is, the evidence is already present. Just by you putting yourself on this path, just by you allowing yourself to more fully commit to what is here and to the reality you're actually moving towards, you are being changed by the act of devotion itself. That you don't need to look outwards for evidence that this is, quote, working, because internally you know that you are being shifted. And form follows frequency. The yang follows the yin. External mundane reality follows internal invisible reality. So once you begin to see that, even you just putting in the act of devotion is shifting you, you can rest assured that things are also shifting externally. For some of you, this may look like you giving yourself permission to sit there and really contact the part of you that's hurting, the part of you that's afraid, the part of you that fears that you're not on the right path because things don't look the way you expect them to. But as you allow yourself to be with that part and to come back to present time, as you tend to that part, then you'll start to see something shifting from inside out. And as you heal this part of you that feels afraid, that feels scared, that feels hurt at how it has been treated by the world, you giving yourself that healing. First and foremost, you giving yourself an opportunity to heal from the disappointment, the worries, the anxieties, the constriction, the pressure that you feel from essentially wrong thinking. You start to come back to the realm of possibility that is infinite, to the support that is always available to you, to the web of weird. There are synchronicities that are wanting to come through in your reality right now. And you don't have to control when that's going to come. And I want you to pay attention to what arises within you when you hear me say that. When I say synchronicities are available to you right now, if I want to be provocative, I will even say miracles are available to you right now in big and small ways. What comes up inside of you? Notice if there's a part that immediately went into, there's no way that could happen, right? Because that part of you is the part that's asking for your attention. That's the part of you that's asking for healing. So I want you to breathe in diamond gold light into that part. And if there's a part of your brain that's saying like, what the hell is Jonathan talking about? What is diamond gold? Just follow along, right? Whatever diamond gold brings up for you, whatever color, whatever energy, we're really following the energy first and foremost here. Okay? We're not necessarily worrying about, am I getting it right? Because that attitude of, am I getting it right? That in and of itself is an energy. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you are jumping over to that part, when you're jumping over to that thought of, am I doing this right? You're already not in the energy. You know? So let's return and come back, whatever arises for you. Come back to that color of diamond gold. And at the same time, feel your feet. Feel your feet on the ground, feel your feet. If you are lying down, just notice the sensations that are present at the soles of your feet. And then in your mind's eye, allow yourself to imagine this diamond gold energy and bring it into your body. And channel this diamond gold energy into the part of you that doesn't believe that this instant resolution, this miracle, this new possibility, this infiniteness is available to you in this moment. And notice what it feels like to bring that diamond gold energy into the part of you that has a hard time believing. Because that part of you is hurt or has been hurt in some shape or form. This is why the sheep, the blackberry, and this idea of devotion is coming through as a teacher for you in this moment. Devotion doesn't have to look complicated. Devotion is literally just you returning to this moment of breathing in diamond gold light into the part of you that's hurting. You don't have to unpack all the stories. In fact, sometimes unpacking all the stories could put you further away from actually focusing your energy on healing this part. Don't forget to breathe and let clarity starts to emerge. Clarity isn't something that's outside of you. Clarity is actually a state of being that you step into when you allow yourself to heal the parts that are resisting clarity. And those parts that are resisting clarity, they're always doing so not because they're stupid, not because they're bad, not because they need to be taken to the trash can. They're not here to be deleted, right? But they're asking for your attention because they need healing. They need comfort, they need reassurance, and you can give that to them right now so that they can take a nap. Beautiful. So, the last card I want to talk about here is bashfulness, the opossum and peony. It's really interesting because I'm having a moment of glitching in this moment. I'm like, I don't know if this is a correct interpretation of what bashfulness actually means. But I'm just going to go with it because this is what's alive and what's really presenting itself in this moment for all of us. You get to be unapologetic. You are listening to this specific episode. You are here sharing space with me because you believe in magic. You believe in possibilities. You believe in the wonder and awe of the world. You believe in the infiniteness of the universe. And in this moment, it is actually not very helpful for you to try to invalidate that. It's not very helpful for you to go out of your way to come up with a million reasons about why that's not real. Your work in this moment is to stay suspended. Stay suspended in the discomfort of knowing what's possible, and yet some part of you is still believing in the story of lack. Some part of you is still believing that you have to work really hard. You have to force yourself in order to get what you need, in order to get closer to what you want. That is not true. Absolutely not true. There are so many people around you, and this is coming through very, very clearly. You are listening to this at your core because you are healing your relationship with people. You are healing your relationship with a hmm, a misconception that people don't care about you. This is a deep one. And it is my job, this is what I'm hearing, literally. It is my job to tell you that the reason why you feel that is not because what happened to you in the past was not valid, but you are still struggling with it now because some part of you believe that it's safer for you to hold on to that belief rather than let it go. And actually, this becomes a cycle because that belief that you are not supported, that people don't care about you, that people don't want to hear from you, that people don't care about your creativity, that people don't care that you authentically express yourself for the sake of you really being here, living out your true purpose. That becomes a loop, that becomes a pattern, that becomes a prison that you live within. The more you reinforce that belief, the more you see the side of people who get scared at you expressing yourself. This is a side note, and it feels like kind of important to say it in this moment. I'm a little surprised that this is where we're going because I didn't think we were going to end up here. There's a part of me that thinks, okay, this reading was really just more about um, believing in the possibilities, the infinite possibilities of spirit. But actually, what we're arriving to here is you are receiving this reading right now because you want to express yourself more fully. There's a part of you that's wanting to come through, and only you know what that part is. Maybe there's this part that really wants to shine super brightly. Express yourself unapologetically. Maybe this part of you that wants to create really beautiful art and want to do it in a way that is so uniquely you, and you want to stop apologizing for it. It could be a very subtle adjustment. It could be a really huge leap that you're making. But ultimately, this reading is kind of about creative expression. And that trust in the invisible and the devotion is actually supporting that. Especially peony coming through as a guide here is so important because peonies are flowers that are so unabashed in the way that they're blooming. You're here to see your own bashfulness because that bashfulness is rooted in fear of not being able to maintain your survival. So this is a very primal fear. You are afraid that if you show up fully as yourself in this moment, being in this interdependent relationship with everything that's around you, you're afraid that doing that is going to put you in a losing position. It's going to compromise your safety in some shape or form. What I'm hearing is that what's compromising your safety is the rigidity that is still present in your system. Some part of you believes that it needs to be rigid in order to be safe, and that's actually reducing your likelihood of being safe. This seems paradoxical. Our minds can have a hard time accepting this, but once you step into that reality, you will see that this is how the universe works. This is how reality works. When you step outside of your own unwillingness to believe that you are not just worthy of being taken care of, because of course you are, but that you're always being taken care of, that you don't have to do all these things that feel bad to you just to be taken care of, then you start to see that this can be a win-win solution for everyone. There are people out there who really want to support you, but you're currently not seeing them because you're not stepping forward to be supported. Because you're holding on to this belief that being supported is vulnerable, that being supported is scary, that being supported will put you in a position of danger. When actually, people who want to support you want to do so because it also benefits them on some level. They themselves are moving through a very spiritual process of expanding themselves, expanding their resources, expanding who they be in this world. And through that expansion, everything gets added onto them. So people who are here to support you are not just doing that because they want to support you. And this is where many of us get into really distorted ideas, really distorted concepts about power. You are actually an infinitely powerful being. And other people are also infinitely powerful being. From that space, the only support that is available is mutual. Even if On the three-dimensional, it looks like you are the one receiving support. This is an illusion because you're always giving and receiving support at the same time. When a person, let's say, support you financially, or let's say a person support you in your learning process as your teacher, as your guide, as your mentor, what you are doing from the receiving end is you are allowing them to step into that relative position. We don't hold just one position in our lifetimes ever, right? We are always in this exchange. We are always in this flexible dance between doing and moving, right? Between receiving and giving, between resting and initiating, between ending and beginning. And so when you allow yourself to be in the position of being supported, you're allowing another person to support you. And that's also supporting them in their becoming, right? Because then later, they will also find themselves in a position of needing to be supported. And you will have become a teacher for them in that posture of allowing yourself to be supported. And they will have been a teacher for you, right? For later when you are ready to be supported, or when you are ready to support, rather. Okay, I think you get what I'm trying to say here. So, in conclusion, this reading is really about first walking through the portal, trusting without you fully knowing where that's going to lead you, through trusting in the invisible support. And the way to do that, the teacher for that is really the sheep. The sheep is just here to be devoted. The sheep is here to follow the flow of the herd, right? And what you are encouraged to do in this moment is to recognize that there's a part of you that needs healing. There's a part of you that has a hard time trusting in a devotion, that has a hard time believing that something that's shifting within you is actually shifting your entire field. And therefore it's going to start shifting your reality as well. It's going to start shifting the kinds of opportunities that come your way, the kinds of relationships that are coming your way. And your work here, what you're being invited to do, is to really pay attention to that internal transformation. Because the more you allow yourself to trust that internal transformation, the more you will see that the external transformation is also happening in real time. And finally, this is all in service of you wanting to be more yourself, wanting to bloom more into the version of you that is next. And this version is connected to your essence. It's a more truthful expression of your essence. And yet, the discomfort here is you giving yourself permission to actually be there, to actually be in that suspended state of loving who you are when you don't fully know how you need to act. A flower doesn't need to know how they can bloom in order to bloom. They just need to be in the process of blooming. And similarly, you also don't have to be fully courageous in the ways that your mind thinks courage needs to look like. The true courage is just to be with your process in this moment. All right, that's it by way of the readings. I hope this is supportive to you. I hope this is giving you encouragement and guidance on your journey throughout the coming week. Whether you are listening to this during the week of July 20th, 2026, or whether you're listening to this far out into the future. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love and a few announcements. If you would like to deepen your relationship with your creativity, if you would like to clear distortions around how you express yourself creatively and begin to become the artist that you are, in a way that feels really true and genuine and authentic to you, I would recommend that you check out my course, Creative Exorcism. It's a 9-week guided daily ritual where you get to make art and you get to look at your relationship to creativity, which is the most profound, beautiful, fun thing you can really do, I think. And creativity, as you may know, isn't just about making art that is conventional art, right? You can make art through your business. You can make art through the way that you're showing up in the world. You can make art in your relationships. You can choose through this program to design a creative practice that is fully your own. So it's such a great program. I love this program because it's so flexible, it's so practical, and it's also really profound at the same time. And this program has been going on for a couple weeks now. So if you are to join, you probably will not be with the live group that joined in the beginning, but that doesn't really matter. You can really move through this at your own pace, and it's still going to be so valuable for you. I promise you. Okay. So check that out if that resonates, or if you want to work with me one-on-one, let's do a cards reading. I'm available to read cards for you. I'm going to choose from my collection of decks, the deck that is resonant with where your energy is at the time of the reading. We're going to meet live on Zoom, and I'm going to channel some messages from your spirit through the cards. It's so fun to be doing this work because I always find it so surprising. It's funny because really my intention is to connect with the people that I read for on a spirit level. And this reading is really a healing session because it will show you where there's a gap between how you see yourself from your body perspective, from your self, lowercase s self perspective, right? In other words, maybe your ego perspective, and your higher self, your spirit. There's so much resource available within our spirit for us. And sometimes that's really hard for us to see by ourselves, which is where this work comes in, which is where my work comes in. So if that feels exciting to you, if that feels supportive, I would invite you to check that out. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me via email or wherever you find me. And lastly, I'll also say, join the Substack. If this work resonates with you, you'll have access to bonus episodes, you'll have access to my essays, my writings, and that's all in service to your path and your unfolding. All right. Thank you so much. And I'm sending you so much love until we meet again. Take care.